Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 11, Week 10. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster Trip, and we have ourselves a middle-of-the-tier matchup today. 2 gold teams battling it out. STR1VE-GAMING versus Pantheon. And Trip, what are your initial thoughts before we get into this first matchup?
I watched Pantheon a couple weeks ago, last week or a week before, and man, it was so good to watch. Like, they played Saints and Sinners, and it was a close match. Like, I'm really glad I picked that one up, so I'm definitely excited for this one. We've got STR1VE-GAMING at rank 17, Pantheon at rank 18. I mean, neck and neck. I think that the skills are perfectly matched, and we're going to see some awesome action tonight.
Yeah, and it's exciting when you think about these teams and their position in the ladder and how that all works, because at the end of the day, at the end of the season, the top 8 in the ladder go on to the championship tournament, if you will, and if they manage to win that, you get your hands on a decent prize pool that is continuing to expand, you know, every season it seems. And so a lot of hype certainly to generate around those finals, and if you're not in the top 8, then you have a much longer road ahead of you to that final championship series. And so I'm very excited to see how these teams here play it out, because they need these wins, Trip, to the point they need to try and get up into that top 10. They need to be close to that top 8. They need to really get these dubs while they can, but it's just not easy when you've got 2 gold teams matched up like this. I anticipate a very good back and forth today. And yeah, I watching STR1VE, they were on a 5 or 6 game win streak before facing Unity last week and losing just barely. So I imagine they're going to come out today with a bit of a vengeance. And so STR1VE and Pantheon both getting me hyped, Trip.
Yeah, I think these teams go to show they're both new teams to the league, and they're showing how well these new teams are doing.
Yeah, it's wild. They're following, I wouldn't say following in the footsteps, but I'm sure being motivated by some of those teams that are in the top 10 that are also new. You know, it's truly maybe a new era of players coming into this game, and it's so exciting to see so many of these new players play so dedicatedly and play so competitively. I mean, we're going to see some great coordinated, synced up team plays here today, and let's dive in and check out the pick bans just so we can kind of get our heads on what we're going to see strategy wise today. Trip, what are your thoughts on the bans for today?
So STR1VE-GAMING is banning Downfall, and Pantheon is banning Quarantine. And, you know, I haven't seen a whole lot from either of these teams, like, to know what they prefer. So, like, statistically speaking, Pantheon banning Quarantine, they've only won it 50% of the time. STR1VE-GAMING banning Downfall, they've only played it once. They won it, but they've only played it once. And it looks like Pantheon has played it 8 times. They've only won it half of that. So, you know, I can't tell if it's STR1VE doesn't want to play it, or if they think Pantheon is just better at it because they have more experience.
Yeah.
And it's hard to go on stats, right? I mean, we played a team last week, and they picked Downfall, and we go, is that because we've never played it? Because, you know, we always ban it. And we didn't ban it this time, and they picked it. And I was like, well, it's not that we're bad at it.
Trip, people don't know who we is, dude.
We, my team. It doesn't matter.
People don't know who your team is either.
That's fine. SMC Tactical, number 106.
Give us information. Give us information, okay? We don't know who we is. Anyway, the matchup here today is going to be hype. Both of these teams banning out the old map pool and relying on the new custom maps. Shipyard going to be where we kick it off here today. They're all in lobby, ready to go. Pantheon on the defense, STR1VE-GAMING on the offense, and we're going to dive in to round number 1 already. Not a lot of time. These players eager to get into the action.
And we're starting with the Western objective, which is, you know, the only objective that underground tunnel makes sense to use, because you can get behind the objective. However, we're seeing a couple of C4s. We've got Trazi putting one on the ship, which is, honestly, I haven't seen a whole lot of C4s being used on Shipyard. Not in placed positions, I guess. I've seen a lot of airburst C4s because this is obviously a very airburstable position. And these lineups here, I mean, they're holding tight. Pantheon has a solid defense. They got Trazi and Waltzy both lined up, waiting for someone to cross out from that center building. Crimson King in danger of a lot of different angles if he comes out that door. He's going to have to find Trazi. Trazi's going to have to hear these footsteps from Toxic if he wants to get that C4 kill.
Yeah, Toxic's going to be pushing past that C4, and now, if anything, maybe detonated to not much success. It's really going to take some discipline from Trazi. And to your point, Crimson, after smoking out, is instantly picked up through the gap in coverage there. He tried to smoke that big gap in the bottom of the doorway in the garage, but couldn't quite get it. There's a great follow-up.
There's the smoke.
Toxic manages to land it, and now they can sort of push, but even then, Trazi's still hiding in the corner.
Cheddar on the roof definitely got seen by Waltzy there. Very exposed when he pushed forward. And if he peeks that again, he's looking for a kill on the roof. Trazi does get the C4 kill. Didn't go for the confirm, though.
He's knocked on boat. Yeah, I knocked at least 2 screaming, but I think they're getting res.
Aware that it was just a down, and that's a problem with the C4. You definitely need to go confirm your kills, especially on a unseen C4. You blow it off of footsteps, you blow it off of noise. Now Cheddar's looking for a kill from that upper roof down onto Trazi. As long as Pantheon stay tucked, they've got a pretty solid hold on this defense here. It's going to take a bit of coordination from Strive to get punched through here.
Yeah, I like Waltzy's position over there early. I don't think anyone's really ready for that. A lot of attention being drawn by Trazi and Freak with their early kill and down. And I just feel like Waltzy's position is going to go completely unchecked if they even manage to get past the rest of this defensive kill box. And to your point, it's nice and tight, and it's going to be very hard for this team to get across the street. I mean, already, I imagine most of their utility is gone. We saw 3, 4, maybe even more smokes coming out there onto that gate when Toxic was down, and no real movement after he got C4'd. And so all their utility has essentially gone to waste for Strive, and now rotation is coming in from Lonweg. I think he'll be able to get Toxic, and Trazi's position should be known. There comes the push up from Cheddar.
-1 under ramp.
Very good comms coming in and acting off of them effectively. It does land Strive at least one, so a little bit of evening the odds here, and actually now it's 4-4.
Yeah, 1 plus a res. I don't know why Trazi didn't go for that confirm. He heard the callouts, he knew his position was given away, and he decided to rotate away from the red ramp, which exposed him to Cheddar. Cheddar has full control over the entire map if you peek. The thing is that Pantheon doesn't need to. They have to get into the building that Pantheon's holding, and they've only got 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to do it.
Again, just kind of focused in on Waltzy's position and how effective this will be. If Bizachu pushes out, if Lon, Toxic, anyone pushes out here, he's going to find a couple of shots, and Cheddar could peek. He could ID, I think, over the ledge there, just barely, defend his position, but it's a super big peek that he has to go for, and he's actually not going to check, and so Waltzy is going to continue to go unnoticed here, and his position could easily be denied with a quick snapshot, so maybe it will be shut down, but I imagine a couple kills get secured here from him.
It's a risky peek because you got to look away from the direction you're moving to get this kill, and Waltzy picks up 1. Now they know his position, but they still have to get the kill. Now the rest of Pantheon needs to defend Waltzy's position, so when they try and go get that kill like that, Freak gets Cheddar on the roof.
Perfect bit of reinforcement coming in there. That's a good flash up on the Waltzy, and how long is that clip gonna last? Bizachu plays it perfect, times it nice. Another great peek from Freak, but Lonwick finds the kill, and we're into a 1v2 and a half.
Yeah, Waltzy's going to be able to make these call-outs, though, on any move John makes, and no one's going to be able to hear him making them. Yamam misses the shots, but he has to come inside. They miss it again, but they finally get the kill in the corner. There's nowhere to hide in that building.
No, and I mean, you can watch it from the perspective, how do you find anybody in that corner when you're under fire like that? I mean, even in the outline, it's hard to identify the person there in that corner off of the replay, but great hold coming in from Pantheon, and ultimately it nets them an early lead, and so couldn't really ask for a better start on your opponent's map pick, but Strive did a good job to make it close. Really huge plays from Freak to be checking that corner. If he doesn't peek out there, it's a couple of unanswered kills coming in for Strive.
Now, while Pantheon did have a strong defense on this objective, I think it's fair to point out that this objective itself is easily defendable. It's a strong defense. I think it's probably the strongest defense objective on this map. And I'm surprised we didn't see anyone try and come from behind, from out this back door. Although it is kind of a death funnel. You only have one exit. People can hear you. People can be up on the roof. Like, you've got to check a lot of angles when you come through there. But if you stage down there and, you know, close enough to the door that when your guys start shooting on the other side, you can just pop out, maybe do a little swing, a little peek on the roof, and go backwards. Go away from the objective. Don't try and just rush right in. Get behind the objective and try and get some picks on rotations or something, or get up on the roof yourself and clear it out. It might play better. I don't know. I'm not a fan of taking those tunnels. I don't like them.
Yeah, they are certainly susceptible to a well-placed C4 as well. If you're caught out there, there's a lot of audio cues you can rely on to detonate as well. And so what's interesting is that as I'm saying C4, I tune into Apollo's position, and the call-out is that watch out for C4 on these walls if you go in. And so even Pantheon very cognizant of that threat that C4 presents itself.
Well, we always say you defend against what you play, and Pantheon put 2 separate C4s out on this objective. Pantheon being a little slow to take that 3rd floor. Apollo not wanting to get up on the roof. He's tucked in. He's looking for that long angle, which is really hard to hit from the stair side. I think it's definitely a defender favorite angle. Lon Wick missing the shots on the roof. Apollo calling that out. And Pantheon moving up slowly. I mean, they're moving, clearing their angles, doing exactly what they should. They don't have to worry about that defender in the far corner where Walty was, but Walty gets picked up by Bezichu, who they do need to worry about.
Minus 1/3 story.
A refrag from that rooftop.
Couple of refrags, really a bit of trading back and forth there, and Pantheon down 2, Strive down 1 when the smoke settles. Interesting that a res. Oh no, I thought Cheddar was down there, but no, he's alive. He's just pro and watching underneath.
Yeah, Strive is taking these long angles from inside the objective. So Cheddar's under the door. Bezichu also. Oh no. A team kill, full kill down in the tunnels.
Guy. My bad. There's 2 of us left, boob.
Yeah, and you can hear the
Yo, Poop, we're gonna change it up, alright? So
disappointment there.
Start making noise over here.
Ooh, I didn't see this earlier. We've got the 5-7 with the flashlight downstairs to blind anyone that's coming up through the tunnels.
I've seen people do this on a couple of different maps and a couple of different positions. I don't know how much it really does. At the end of the day, Trazi isn't drawn the slightest to that pistol.
Tunnels.
The C4 ultimately is what does the trick. But that pistol didn't even... When he rounded that corner, he went straight for Crimson at the doorway. So
-1 in the tunnel.
an interesting attempt at drawing attention, but not ultimately effective. The C4 does do the job, though. Crimson finds his kill, and now Yamum down into a 1v4. Certainly a tall order ahead of him, but see what he tries to do here.
Yeah, I also want to point out the people using the flashlight. That's the second time I've seen a 5-7 with a flashlight used. That's an extra point. Why are you putting a flashlight on a 5.7 if you're not even going to use the weapon?
Does it go on every pistol?
No, it doesn't go on the Makarov. That's why. You're right.
Use your brain, Trip. Okay, just kidding.
You can do that on Marsoc. You can't do it on Volt.
But to your point, it's a heavy investment in resources to get that one kill down. Ooh, the double comes through, but ultimately the final kill locked in, and 2 left alive for Strive. Give him the round. Yeah, it's I don't know. Is it really worth the investment? I guess the question is, what else do you take? I don't know, flashbangs, body armor, maybe even AP rounds to really throw it out there. But it's you know, to invest what is 3 out of 11 points in your loadout, something we really don't talk a lot about here, but it's a big cost into your utility and the availability of what you got in your arsenal. So interesting strats. You know, sometimes it works. I've seen people shoot at the light as well. So yeah, I guess it's a 50-50 from what I've seen. But either way,
but on a day map, I mean,
yeah,
that's really what caught me off. I was like, why on a day map? It's not that dark in the tunnels.
yeah. And to that point, who would be? I guess like the trick would be to actually use a flashlight on your gun. You know what I mean? To take a rifle with a flashlight, because then people would just skip over you, right? That's the theory. Like if he was
you hold
actually
really still, then
if he was actually holding the pistol, would he have just gotten a free pistol kill? You know what I mean?
yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, but so that guy was running a C4, so that's what 2-3 points.
Yeah, it's a lot of resources into that corner.
A 5.7 and a flashlight. That's another 2 points. So that's 5 points right there, and then you've got your gun. I mean, you're obviously going to be giving up body armor, or you won't have any grenades. I don't think people take AP. I don't know. I don't take AP. I don't think it's worthwhile.
Hey man,
I shoot
you're
a
not
lot.
part of the. Like I said, you're trying to become. I guess you're going to be facing off against the up and coming generation of Onward players, but who knows? You know, who knows what these teams. We see P90s in play. Okay, G36 with silencers. There's all kinds of interesting loadouts getting brought out by these guys, and the FAMAS. Okay, you know, there's
I'm sorry, but we're running the most interesting loadouts. We've got the FAMAS, the 5.53 Commando, and the RPG.
Again, who's we, Trip?
The up and coming team, brand new team. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. I am liking. So we've been seeing what Shipyard's been in for 4 weeks now. 5. This is the 5th week. This is week 10. Yeah. So we're seeing these meta defensive positions on these objectives now. Although a couple of these are pretty new. Trazi here with this proned out long angle is actually really good as long as he's protected from the roof, which it looks like he is. But he's got the entire south covered under that truck, and that's going to be hard to shoot back. You're not going to expect to get shot in the feet as you make that cross.
I have seen it happen more and more, to your point, over the course of these 5 or 6 weeks. So if they are watching matches, some players should be wary of this position. The other angle is where I'm watching, which is usually taken up, which does have a bit of a longer line of sight down all the way to that south street. But yeah, Trazi is prone there and waiting for anyone to push up and challenge. And the problem is that he is a bit exposed out around that corner. His legs and about half his body are peeking out. So if Bizachu is diligent in his scanning, and he is looking for this prone position, he is looking for anyone in that corner. If he continues to scan here, he should ID Trazi. Maybe not.
He's real tunnel visioned into that downstairs area.
Again, that's where the standard position is, and so maybe the off-meta position paying off. Yeah, he's really not. I'm going to go into the first-person perspective looking over there. The leg almost blends into the pipe, and he does ID that position now and tries to get those shots off, but can't quite land them.
Trazi's going to go for the peek. He's going to try and shoot back. No, they're playing a dangerous game there. I don't think he is aware of how far out his legs stick when he looks that direction, because they follow your view when you're prone.
Yeah, crouch peeking there would be the best option. Maybe even doing a little head peek up and over the crate.
I think he should just run. I think he should give up that position, and move somewhere with a little bit more cover.
Yeah, get a little suppressive fire onto the corner, roll out, but
The smoke now. He could use that smoke to his advantage. He could rotate the other way.
you really could.
Looks like Strive is setting up their offense now. They have passed Waltzy, and they are moving up on the ship towards the upper deck. Hill comes out in the middle of the map. Not really going to affect the defensive posture here, or the offense. It was both of their flex positions go down.
Control both.
One's going towards the ramp.
-1 white ramp.
Your mom's position here is very, very hard to deal with unless you can somehow get a nade like right in front of him, you know, land it right there. Or honestly, the coolest thing I would like to see is if you go on the wall behind him and just like lob a frag right over top, just kind of drop it on his position. That'd be a pretty cool kill. You know, I wouldn't be mad if I died to that, but taking him out head on is very, very hard. I mean, you're gonna have to have a gunfight with a dude that has a very tiny angle, so he doesn't have to look away. He's ready for you. He can hear your footsteps. C4 from Freak goes out, doesn't catch anybody. His position a little away from objective, but it is good to look back at objective. Hollow with a long shot. Oh, is he gonna see Bezichu? I think he just saw Bezichu.
He has that wall denying the vision there. Trying to find Trozzle off the comms and off of his early identification from the upstairs position he was in. He can't get the angle he's looking for. Maybe he'll find the angle onto Apollo or be picked up vice versa.
The comms and the defensive adjustments from Pantheon are very, very good here. I mean, we're seeing some top tier play. They're making the calls and they're watching each other's positions so that someone like Crimson can't charge Freak. Now Freak's gonna get exposed though. He was not ready for Bezichu. Now Trozzy knows that someone's over there. He's gonna call for some defensive assistance from Apollo. Apollo needs to swing on the backside. Bezichu's pushing up. He's gonna get onto Trozzy's position. They trade.
A little one for
Apollo's
one
coming.
there. What is Toxic doing?
He's going to get the long angle onto Apollo if he doesn't move quick enough. Oh, but he drops down off of the ship.
Okay, well.
I don't know how Toxic got up onto that ledge, but either way, oh, maybe he jumped off the ladder. Wow, that's crazy. I think he jumped off the stairs. Either way, as he's the last one alive, he begins the push. And to your point earlier, this defensive position from Mum is hard to uproot. But Toxic does it. He's going to continue to swing. Apollo's feeling a little bit concerned about his position. He just drops off the objective, and Toxic's going for the code. Wow.
What? Wow.
What a weird...
Say Toxic. Yeah.
Just an odd rotation coming in there from Apollo. Maybe just feeling the pressure. I guess, okay, so here's what... I understand the read, and I understand the intention, but... ultimately, the play favors Strive in the end. The kill comes in onto, was it in the corner there? Yamum, and as soon as that kill comes in, the concern is that he's going to be flanked. He thinks that the push is going to come from this gap in the wall there and end up coming in from behind him. So he actually tries to get an early lead by hitting that outside corner. And once he hits the corner and sees nothing, that's when he realizes, oh, I've made a terrible mistake. He's gone the other way, and he tries to route back, but what a great dialed-in cap from Strive there. That's a veteran cap time in under 5 seconds. That takes some serious practice and serious discipline to not be nervous under pressure, to be able to execute like that, get the right code in. There's a lot of factors that go into punching in a code fast, and that was, I mean, as fast as I've seen any cap before. You know, that was a great punch in right under the nose of a defender.
He even shot at the guy. As Strive entered objective, he shot through the back
That's
door
true.
at Apollo. And then he just decided, I'm going to go for the cap, standing up even. I was like, he needs to crouch
Yeah.
to get a couple extra seconds. And he's just stood there. And I'm like, he's not going to get this. He definitely pulled it off. Cap under pressure. It's very, very impressive.
Was looking like a great setup there from Strive. I liked all the points you were making about their setups. They were looking strong in their defensive holds, but ultimately the swing from the edge does a lot of work. And you know, to the point about communication, Pantheon doing great with their comms, but Strive also just really good on vocalizing where they are, when they're pushing, what the timeline is for it, when they should execute off of it. And I think we did see a little bit of a disconnect there as Toxic was trying to execute on a unique strat that they didn't time up properly, because he was still trying to rotate around the edge, as from what I could tell. But cap's a cap, I suppose.
Cap makes up for it.
Yeah, it really does. And, you know, this is what I love about watching these new maps, Trip, is the variety that you really get here. And I do think it's largely in part to the map creators. You know, every time I get into a custom map, I'm excited because I like these custom maps so much. They have such great variety, good verticality, especially with Shipyard, tons of different positions, and that leads to a lot of, to your point, while there is meta positions, a lot of off-meta positions you can take as well. There's a lot of unique ways you can try and throw off your opponent, and we're seeing it here with Strive as they do a completely different setup, investing one into the two-story, one way back in the corner, Lonwick way back there. Very interested to see what that position is intended to execute off of, but already action in the ship, Trip.
Yeah, Toxic's position really hard to root out. I mean, unless you've got a nade and you can throw something up and get him, you can't shoot him. That flash beautifully blinding Waltzy. Now Toxic's gonna look for the kill. Waltzy just running into a container. Toxic not pushing far enough.
Yeah, he would have to have committed to the drop shot off of the crate. That would have been sick.
Oh, but he gets one all the way across the map.
Yeah. It's the beauty of this position, Trip. Unless there's hitting you with nades, you can just let people be right on top of you and still go for on the hunt for other angles. Toxic says, well, you know, whatever, they're underneath me. I'm going to continue to hold my side of the roof, and he finds one. Apollo is also looking for an angle here, but he's, again, not going to find it. This position that Toxic is in is really nice.
Oh, but Toxic goes for the kill off of the comms and gets taken out by Apollo on the roof. Third floor, clearing that out. And the ship defense is really strong. I think it's probably one of the more important positions on any of these objectives. Having the ship, because you do get that vertical angle. You get the views from north to south on the map. And it's just hard to kill people up there.
Trip, while we have a bit of a build up here in the round, I just want to talk about the strat that Toxic was doing. Waltzy finds one because he's right here where I'm about to talk. I think what he did is he went up these stairs, dropped off of the ledge of the stairs, and landed onto the ledge of the ship. His intent was then to walk all the way around the ledge to the other side and have an angle onto the back.
So there's a invisible hitbox. You cannot fall off of the ship. So you can use that to your advantage, and you can get up on that. And you can do it at the bow, too. If you run all the way to the bow, you get some pretty good angles on that first objective. Because you can't really see over the wall unless you're freakishly tall. You might be able to. I can't. But, but yeah, so it definitely gives you some advantage. It just takes a while, because you do have to walk all the way down the ship, and you're exposed. I mean, I've got some good clips from a previous game where I had someone walking across it, and like they walked across someone's field of view. It was like cartoonish how they didn't see him, because there's nothing there to cover you at all. Now Apollo moving up onto Cheddar's position. If Cheddar has any utility, now would be the time to use it. But he does have a nice crack here that he's going to look and see if he can hit Apollo. Let's see how fast his trigger finger is. Apollo's looking. Ooh, a nice double kill there.
Yeah, ouch to that. But hey, this is an opportunity that Trazi can work off of. Bizachu's here, but I don't think he wants to radio in that he's maybe heard someone, simply because he wants to keep quiet to surprise Trazi. What that does, though, is it opens up a gap. Cheddar isn't looking here, and Trazi ID'd that peak, and if Cheddar, gets lazy, he's down. And now next up is Biza. We're into a 1v1.
My question is, you're close to objective. Do you go for objective or kills, or do you rotate? They're trying to get an accurate kill count now. I think Trazi is going to rotate around the backside. I don't know. You could definitely go. You got 60 seconds left. You don't have enough time to make a rotation. It's going to be a tough one. Do you have any flashbangs on you?
I don't
You got
think
two
so.
smokes on you.
That
Two
works.
smokes
That
is a
gets you
good
into the
amount of
door.
utility. Here's the way to do it. You get one in the door and you get one through the roof. Lob it up
Oh,
and
yeah.
try and just get it right onto the objective.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the middle there. Oh, yeah. Dirty smoke.
Trazi really doesn't have any idea where this defender is, though. Bizachu has the advantage of hearing Trazi's footsteps early. He heard this rotation off of the corner, heard the comms to Waltzy, and 15 seconds left. He's going to commit to holding this. So actually, are we going to get the classic Onward? He may dip to the other corner as Trazi peaks. 10 seconds on the clock.
Solid defensive hold there from Strive. Bizachu not getting too peaky. Definitely heard those footsteps and played the time. Knew he didn't have to, he wanted to spend as much time as possible hidden in defense.
Whew. Solid bit of back and forth here today between Strive and Pantheon. Fun to see. Pretty gutsy play coming in from Strive to get them this map. Again, the quick kill to a cap is fantastic. So it's got me excited for map number 2. I don't know where they're going to take us. If I had to guess, Trip, because it's a lobby remake, we're going to be headed to Sand, which always gets me excited.
Right. Does it? I don't know. I don't like Sand.
Oh, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. One thing I do find interesting, though, is that Strive and Pantheon, like you mentioned, both newer teams to the league, they are opting to go for these custom maps. And, while I think the custom maps are a very good option to pick into if you are trying to go up against a team that has experience on the old maps that have been around for 5 years. That makes sense to me, but there's really no advantage that you gain by picking or not picking maps that have been in for a while when you're both playing as teams that are relatively fresh to the game in the league. And so, interesting to see that these teams do tend to gravitate towards the new. And I'm excited to see what Sand delivers us with these two teams. Sand is, why do you not like it? Sand is so exciting to spectate. Maybe you don't like playing it, but boy, do I love tuning into a matchup on Sand.
It's too close. I don't like it. There's not enough time to set up any kind of offense or defense, in my opinion.
I think that's very objective
very
dependent.
run and gun.
It's very
Well, see, that's
objective
the other thing
dependent
is-
and dependent on your offense and what sort of rollout they do. And so I think, there's certain ones that, like the one we're going to start with, that are crazy on their spawns and the distance between the spawns. But there are several objectives here that I do think give you plenty of time to set up a proper defense, and just a matter of understanding those spawns and how quick you can get to them. It's big.
That's the other problem, though, in my opinion. There's only one spawn for a lot of these objectives. And for me, personally, that doesn't have enough variability to make it fun. There's no potential for you to spawn somewhere else and them to set up an incorrect defense. You get stuck playing the same thing over and over because you spawn at the well, and then you have to move through, there's
this is
3 doors you go through.
old hat mentality to Onward here, folks. This is what this is.
Look, we're a rushy team, okay? I
Completely
like
disagree,
playing-
man. I think that some of these new teams are bringing so much variety to their styles, their defenses, how they play. They're playing back, they're playing aggressive, they're sending one out, they're sending some on flanks. There's plenty of nuance for all of these objectives, and Sand has been a fantastic map to tune into over the course of this season. Watching matches on it, it's been so much fun, and with Pantheon and Strive, I think we're going to see some very exciting bits of back and forth. I want to see how these teams act under that quick pressure, especially with, like I said, our first objective. It's going to be very fast, and so we're going to see action within the first 30 seconds for this objective, almost guaranteed. And again, I want to see what these new teams do, what their rollouts are. It's almost never the same. You always get to learn something by tuning into a matchup really in the top 20 these days. And with these two teams, I'm expecting some interesting plays. I'd love to see a good smoke application. We saw some good ones thrown out there on Shipyard, but ultimately not really acted off of. And I think Sand certainly lends itself to a couple of good flashes, nades. There's all kinds of options with this sort of range and the way that the walls work. And yeah, very much interested to see what we get. I think we had a brief pause there. I was looking to see if we were going to get our roster shakeup, but I don't think we did.
No, it looks like the same rosters. And I do want to point out the choice here is Pantheon's, because they've played this 5 times, won it 3. Strive has played it 4 times and won it none. They've only won 5 out of 22 rounds.
Wow.
So it leans heavily on the Pantheon side, and they definitely play it a lot more. I know I've seen these guys in lobby playing this map. Like, they practice this a lot. So I think they're feeling pretty confident on this one.
I mean, hey, they need it. They just lost 4-1 to Strive's map pick. It's not an easy pill to swallow, and I think there's plenty of opportunities to get themselves a cap here or two on this map, and very curious to see what we get. And again, both rosters not changing. Everyone's in lobby. We should be getting going any minute. There's plenty of time to kill here, Trip, before we dive into our next round.
Now, I will say, choosing the custom maps does lend to a lot of caps. I feel like you see more caps per custom map than you do for an original map, because there's so many new ways to get places. There's, people haven't figured out the routes to objective. They haven't figured out all of the little sneaky corner caps that you can, if you lay down here and you put your hand out, you're barely visible, but you can cap, kind of thing. So I think that we're going to see a lot more of that. I think that one of these maps is out for the next pool. I don't remember which one, but I think it's still being voted on, actually. If you haven't voted, let me see. Let me check when that vote was supposed to close. There's still time. There is not. Vote is closed, and it looks like, according to the votes, Cargo and Sand are the small maps, and Shipyard, no, Subway. Subway beating Shipyard is something I didn't expect.
Teams have been preferring that one. The new objective, adding variety to that map, just to have a new one in the rotation does a lot for Subway. And even then, I'm still seeing new plays come out from old teams, and so I don't think if you really want to be at the top 10, you can never be complacent with strats and meta. I think it's always evolving at this stage, and again, it just gets me excited to watch games in Season 11, because I don't even know what to expect. Here we go into round number 1, Pantheon versus Strive.
And we are seeing smokes now landing on the roof of center, trying to force that position to leave, which works well. It's not a defensive cover smoke. It's this is going to force whoever's near it to rotate, make a new position, throw them off of their defensive hold. Trazi and Waltzy both coming through the door now.
I'm surprised they're getting this so free. They just entered into the backside completely uncontested. They're going to have full control of objective building very soon.
I don't know if you can cap from upstairs. If you prone out, I don't know if you can. But now it's cleared out. Trazi takes down Crimson. Objective is clear. They're going to be forcing these rotations. Trazi gets another. The call. Waltzy's type. He's reading that code. Bezichu's right there. Waltzy doesn't hear the shots. Bezichu gets a double. Apollo comes in, tries to get the kill, but wow, what a crazy round.
That's what this objective is. That's why I love seeing it. And that was awesome. They again got that entry not for free. They invested a very well-placed smoke onto this gap here. Oftentimes, a team will invest 1 or 2 players into the top floor to watch down into this exact entryway, but nobody was here. They got second floor completely free of charge, got the kill onto objective, and once they had that kill, and then they got, I think Bezichu got the second one, that's when the alarm bells go off in your head saying, okay, I think we've taken this. I think we've secured objective. This is going to mean that we're now in a even though there's no timer on the bomb or anything, a retake scenario, you know, and you have to understand that the team's going to push you. They almost got caught off guard that the team was crashing around objective when in reality they should have been ready for that exposed cross out the center, the rotation onto the back. There was some ways they could have defended those, but still a great attempt, and Strive nearly had, Pantheon nearly had a 2-0 lead there on their map pick.
Yeah, Pantheon got a little greedy, I think, though.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was, but they went tablet out for the objective while watching one of their teammates get mowed down in front of them on him. Like, the dude died right in front of him, and he just kept walking towards objective with his tablet. I don't know if it just didn't register, or he thought maybe it was a trade, or he was just going to go for it, because sometimes you just go for it, and, you know, your team's there. He still had Apollo behind him to back him up, and maybe you're just hoping that they don't see you, or they, you know, are out of position. But it's a very ballsy play, especially to just start out that way, you know?
How could you say you don't like this map?
There's all kinds of aggression, and I do like watching it, but I do not like playing it.
Okay, that's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. We've rooted down to it. Exposed the weakness of SMC. Everybody picks sand.
We now ban this over downfall. That's how much we hate it.
All right, well, you've mastered
it's a very strong hatred.
Early kills coming in, man.
Shot.
-1.
All the way down in the market in the far southeast.
Another in warehouse.
Tough shots to miss there. Waltzy not landing those shots on the Bezichu.
Tuck is dead.
It's going to be harder to hold and command from that position now.
Now, it is worth pointing out, just for the folks at home, most of the time when you see tin walls, they are penetrable, but the ones on top of the objective building are not penetrable. They are solid cover.
We're going to have to split our attention here. I think the Strive going to go for a multi-pronged attack. You can see what the setup's looking like, where they're considering pushing out as they do take up some control positions. And I mean, look at Trip, what a contrast to what we were seeing here. You have Lonwick ready to make his entry. Apollo Graham, Crimson King. I love the setup that they have here. They're just waiting for that smoke to come in. That's a perfectly placed smoke. Yamu's smoked out. Apollo's going to rotate off of that. Crimson trades in. Lonwick trades on his side. We're down to 2-2 here as Waltzy catches out the rotation. A big catch. And here's the real play of what Strive was putting together. And I think they just executed a little bit out of sync again. If Cheddar had been coming out the back, coming out of this bottom floor of the 2-story, just imagine how different this could have gone.
Yeah, Cheddar, they definitely needed to wait until he was set. I think him taking center roof from behind would be the best play, getting up there, because then you have eyes onto the objective. And, you know, he could have made that, like, no one needed to move. You could have let him do his thing. If he got in a gunfight, he got in a gunfight. Then you decide, okay, we heard shots across the map, we're going to start. But if he doesn't get seen and gets onto the center roof, which I don't think he's been seen, he's got a good spot. The only problem is Crimson is down and not resable because Cheddar's on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, you know, what I was getting excited about was exactly that, Trip. They had the setup. They had everything they needed to push out, and I thought they were waiting for Cheddar. But when I saw the smoke come in and Cheddar's still off in the distance, you know, the play was coming, and it just an unfortunate, again, just you know, at this level, if you don't have all 5 crashing in, it becomes so much harder. And Cheddar is now into a 1v2, not insurmountable odds at all, but the I believe the sheet metal up on this second floor is penetrable.
I'm not sure if it is or not, but the problem is your
gap.
feet are exposed.
Yeah.
You shoot the ankles, and they can't see you.
No, you're right. It is not penetrable, but there's the gap there underneath, so it might as well be.
2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Waltzy, pretty tucked in, doesn't need to peek. Moving his tablet. Oh, but he's going to peek through the wall.
Wow.
Backing up into a wall, but your mom gets the nice rotation.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a headshot through the gap. It's all about the gap, man.
All about that gap. They knew right where he was as soon as those shots came in. A really great read, a great refrag, and a 1-1 game here on sand. Neither team giving up the objective there, but both good offensive rounds coming in from STR1VE and Pantheon. It's got me excited for the rest of this map. All of these objectives are pretty wild, and our next one is certainly not excluded from that list. The center objective in the center of the map. Already we're seeing some good setups, some nice conserved offensive plays coming in, where the contrast we saw there, the aggression versus the patience, and you know, I think it's going to be a matter of these teams switching between both of those. You know, that's really what's going to throw off either opponent, is to try and throw the variety of their strats at them here on sand. And I fully expect Pantheon to be bringing in some good plays here today. I think next round, for the start of it, let's drop into the comms of the Pantheon team and hear what they're strategizing up, because these teams have been super vocal trip. I mean, we've talked about it. Their comms have been pretty on point. Accurate communication, which is really important, and then they've acted off of that communication.
Right. I think that's the bigger thing, is the setups that they have allow them to make those audible plays and say, okay, I have someone on me. Someone else checks your angle to make sure you're not exposed, so you're not going head to head with someone. And yeah, that's the smart plays, and we're seeing more and more of that. Teams are learning.
I always drop a mag and then put a new one in. It's just something to do and give me one extra round.
So this objective, I think we're going to see some fighting in the north. Billboard
Gotta cover my back, though. I don't
building
want to be rushed up on.
is normally a hot defensive position. Crimson's going to be running. No, Crimson's not going to push out there. Toxic is going to be taking that long angle. But he's doing it slow, and he's letting them get into the exposed open area.
I think he peeked and saw them.
He called it, but he's not taking the shots. Something I have not seen before. Normally, you're fighting when they come out the doors on the northwest end of that map. Now, as Toxic goes, ooh, Apollo getting one. I say, if Toxic comes around here a little quietly, comes through just,
I got the guy center roof over. There
slow.
may be more over.
He could get a nice flank here, take Apollo's position, and get some more kills from that roof.
I don't think he's going to move, though. I think they're trying to play a disciplined line here, relying on everyone's setup. I like Crimson's position. It's going to be effective. Waltzy getting rid of Lonwick is big. I mean, the entry that's coming in from Pantheon is really unguarded. If Beachashu gets flashed or goes down, or if anyone sneaks through these smokes, drops in from the roof, a ton of options. The objective is really undefended.
Oh, Freak's going for it. He's coming in from the roof. He's just looking for a kill. He's got to clear it. You got to scan the whole thing. He didn't see Bezichu. Now he's going to go for it. Oh, there it is. There's the airdrop from kill from above. But he goes down to Crimson with a nice pick. But now they're all in there. Pantheon's in the objective. The rotations are coming. Toxic gets one. Crimson's on the other corner. Trozzy sees him, takes him down now. Waltzy's on objective, typing the code in. Did he cap from back there? No. Toxic and Trozzy in a gunfight.
Wow.
Toxic coming out on top.
What a massive save there from that defense. It was looking bad, Trip. They were way out of position, nowhere where they should be. A completely open objective to the 4 making entry after they got their pick. I thought that was Pantheon's round to cap all the way through, and the drop down just goes wrong. Doesn't find the kill right away, gets picked off from the side, and once that happens, it's an indicator for the defense that's out of position to go, oh crap, they're right here. We need to challenge. And again, we're into the retake scenario where they have control of objective. The offense is there, and it's defense's turn to switch back and capture. And with an with a map like Sand and how close it is, I feel like this retake strategy may actually be a pretty effective one if you play it right. Of course, there was plenty of chances to sneak in and get a cap there. Maybe a different smoke. You know, who knows how that goes. There's all kinds of different what ifs, but either way, just a good job from Strive to rotate truly and get the cap. If Toxic's not there, it's a 3-1 game Pantheon right now.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, so he went in for the kill on the objective and then tried to get the cap. Do you instead, you've taken the roof, right? You just drop some smokes down there, you know, get the kill from above, drop a smoke into objective, and just watch them scatter like ants and wait for them to come back and check it. Because, you know, if there's a smoke on objective, it's probably an indicator that someone's trying to cap. So do you play those mind games?
Yeah, that is the question, and we are into it here. Round number 4, map 2. If you are just tuning in, you've missed out on some good action, some quick action, and some pretty coordinated action, to say the least. Great back and forth. Both of these teams clearly showing that they are close in that ladder rank, and very interested to see what Strive put together on offense.
Strive could take it the whole series here with a cap. Long shots from Apollo onto that southeast corner. Southwest corner? I don't know how to look at a map.
East. Oh.
It is.
Yeah. South.
Rotate.
The south got me more confused than the east. The orientation gets confusing, but oh, Apollo almost catching the head and goes for the repeat after missing. Bijachu's dialed in after those shots miss. He held the angle, catches out that repeat. Nicely done there. A big kill for Strive to get rid of rooftop defense.
I like the communication here from Bijachu and Cheddar. Cheddar got a radio call for smoke and goes, where do you want it? So you know he's practiced these throws, and he gets it right onto that door. I mean, like, right in front. Not exactly where he wanted it, but it's pretty close, and it's definitely going to put some pressure on the Yamam. It's like the opposite of a James airstrike. It's a, you know, a close air smoke, and you just put it where you need it, and you've got one guy that can throw it.
Along with Crimson King, they're just waiting for their timing. Strive are just lining it everything up here for the initial entryway, and I think the big linchpin for this Pantheon defense is going to be Freak. He's up in a pretty forward spot that I just don't know they're going to be ready for.
The only question is how many can he take with him, as he does have 3 really close. He's got that tar. He's tucked in. He takes some shots and misses. Now he rotates away. Doesn't get a single one.
Wow.
Unfortunately, that position not playing out for Pantheon.
What's crazier is that Bijachu checked it. I think that's the real saving grace. The fact that they were, again, everyone's supporting each other as they push up. Everyone calling out. I think Crimson trying to navigate this with call-outs to make sure everyone's lined up and timed. And because they're all lined up and timed, you get that Overwatch. You get the support. Toxic doesn't get surprised. And Strive now, all set up for the attack. 3v5. I get 2v5.
Yeah, Strive also making some really good audible plays. They're adjusting their offense on the fly. After they make these kills, radio comms come out, and then they adjust. They say, okay, we just got one on objective. We're going to now rotate where we're going to try and
I have one
encircle it.
flashbang.
They called out Walty's position. They know he's there. They don't know where Trazi is. Trazi is the wild card right now, and he's on the roof, so he does have the ability to cover the objective if he comes down from above, but there's 5 attackers still standing.
I wonder what the attack is going to look like. That's the real question. What is their entry setup like? Are they going to get too cautious with it, take too much time, and allow Pantheon to find picks they need? It doesn't look like they're out of sync at the slightest here. Strive and everyone making their entry. Toxic's got control of the garageway. Waltzy's perfectly timing his swing, but he's going to have to worry about Crimson, the roof, his back, all kinds of issues here, and an easy cap opportunity presenting itself for Strive, but they go for the kills, and Pantheon are gifted another attempt at coming back here on their map pick. That was I mean, truly a Strive objective to win there.
Yeah, in the words of Strive Gaming, good execution. I mean, that was textbook almost. I mean,
no, beautiful.
The question is, did you actually intend for your first guy to die? Was your first guy? I mean, you've got a 5-on-2. You have an accurate kill count. At that point, you know, I'm the kind of person that uses teammates for bait. I would have sent that first guy in because you know he's in the objective, but you don't know where, right? So you set up at that door, you send your first guy in. If he gets the kill, he gets the kill. But if he doesn't, it doesn't matter because now you know exactly where you need to snap to. When you come through that door, you're getting that kill. And that having that 5-2, you know, it just works out really well for you. You can do a lot more in a shorter amount of time, and you can use all of the map to your advantage. You could do whatever you want. You have the power.
Truly, you do, and Pantheon, we'll see if they embrace that power trip because they are now in a bad position. They need to lock in a couple of rounds here to get this map to push it to a best of 3. And if not, they're going to lose the series here off of this map and have to go and compete for another one. And Strive are really taking points here. I mean, these teams are not far away in rank. Strive is only one position above Pantheon. And so if Strive can secure a 12-2 victory, you know, it'll be huge for them to boost them up. And that's what these teams are looking for. Like we said at the pre-show, they are trying to push up into the top 10, that top 8, so that they don't have to compete in the wild card at the end of the season. And so there's a lot of on the line here for these teams. They especially now as we get closer and closer to the end of the season. I think we're really only like the halfway mark, maybe a little bit past it. But as we get closer, you know, these matches matter more and more.
Now, I will say I think this is the least defensible objective out of all of them. Strive definitely has their work cut out, but they're getting aggressive. Toxic getting one right off the rip. Walty goes down. They've sent another Crimson in a nice position, going to be watching that southeast corner. He's not actually pushing out, but they're way off of objective. You can see Lone Wick up in the northeast or northwest.
That's crazy.
Inside. Like, what is he defending? He's inside the building, you know? They're checking their angles. They're looking for crosses.
Yeah, they're hunting. And that's what Strive's doing here. They're using their 3-1 advantage to get aggressive. They're trying to get early picks. They really wanted to lock in this series with a nice 4-1 dub. Instead, they've ended up getting picked off a little bit. A nice refrag there with a C4 from Crimson. Catches out 1 to even it. Pikachu now gets the favor into Strive with a nice pick from 2-Story. And I don't know, maybe this really is kind of a 2v2 as Freak and Yamum are the closest to objective.
Pikachu goes down there to Freak. Now Cheddar knows that he's there. They're on both sides of the objective. I don't know where that flash went.
I don't either.
So I heard him throw it, but I didn't see it. And now Crimson peeks out, gets aggressive, and he goes down. Oh. No, but the team kill!
Oh. Into a 1-1 now. Battle over objective. The LMG fire superiority definitely pays off here. And what a great little tactical move from Yamum. He drops off like he's going to reload the LMG, but then commits to the repeak, and that's when he catches out his enemy. Pantheon stay in it by the skin of their teeth, 2-3.
Yeah, I wonder if Strive got aggressive. You know, I don't necessarily think it's because they had that lead, that 3-1 lead. I think it's this objective. There's nowhere on it that you can wait. Like, it's all exposed. There's no overhead cover. I believe all of the walls on that objective, that little mini market, those are all penetrable. So there's really nowhere to hide, and the sight lines on anywhere that you can hide in that objective are so long that you can't rotate. Once you if you pick a corner and sit in it, you can't leave that corner because you could get picked off from all the way across the map, or it's just rough. And the team kill, we both thought that was going to be bad for Pantheon, but managed to get the kill in the end.
Oh, I could have been. I mean, can you imagine to get the team kill, then lose the round, lose the map? I mean, there's no bigger way to lose than off of that kind of a team kill. But fortunate enough for them, it's not the case, and they're hanging in here. To your point, they have to go and defend this objective now, though, and it is a tough task ahead of them. With how well Strive have been playing on the offense, Pantheon are going to have to get some fortunate early picks to put them at an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Strive has been doing really well, and if we're looking at this map, that objective was able to be taken by Pantheon. So does that mean that this objective is more Marsoc friendly? I mean, statistically wise,
it's again, I think it's objective based. It's where are your objectives? I think the first objective Marsoc favored. Second objective, I don't know if it's Marsoc favored or not. This one I'd probably say Marsoc, but then the remaining ones I would say are Volk favored. So it's maybe 60-40 Marsoc. What I give it.
So these defensive positions from Pantheon, real risky. Oh, but that grenade
Beautiful.
gets one. The res is going to be coming out. Here comes. Oh, that's just a smoke. I don't care about that.
I thought it was a frag
I want
too.
frags. I mean, frags would work out so well here. All of the positions on objective could just be fragged out, and you wouldn't even have to worry about it. Flash is now coming in. Waltzy blind.
Yeah,
Ozzy
and
making a
Pantheon.
rotation, gets picked.
What the smokes are doing, and while they may or not are effective with the kills, is they're really causing a huge rotation out of Pantheon. All this smoke is causing a bit of panic in this team, and they're scrambling when they don't need to. Crimson goes down to a good shot from Freak in the 2-story. There's a kill on the backside, a good refrag, and in the chaos, Pantheon have managed to even the odds. As I say that, a good swing from Lon turns it back into Strive's favor, but Freak's got a good spot up there on the roof.
That's a risky spot. I mean, he has a line onto objective. But, I mean, if they get behind that wall, I don't know. There's no covered cap area from his position.
Well, they have to get... Yeah, if they went through the tunnels, he'd be... I'd say this position is bad, but for what we're seeing here, and where the setup is, if Strive try to do anything, even come out from across here, he's got a great angle to catch out the push into objective. Once they've made it past, it's bad news. But if he catches them before then, it may pay off.
Well, I mean, as I said before, those walls aren't cover. You could shoot right through those cloth walls.
Yeah.
So even if they get onto the objective and try and go for one of those, you can't see me, I'm going to cap
true.
It's going to be a tough one if he just decides to spray, especially with his high angle. He's got more visibility on the objective than you would think.
Yep. Using that tar and playing it patient. 3:30 left, and Strive trying to regroup with the duo, reassess where he could potentially be, and there's so many options, really, where Freak could be right now.
Yeah, I think what Strive needs to do is team up and do a staggered push out from the center area here, or from the auto shop and the center hallway. I don't actually have a call out for this. I don't know. The whole map's a death trap. I don't know what this is called. Bad hallway 1.
Yeah.
I don't like hallways.
Yeah.
But if you push one out and then the other, the first one's going to get killed. The second one needs to get the swing.
Yep.
And I think that's a smarter play than going for objective and trying to cover You know, trying to clear the map, they're not moving together. So they don't have that overwatch. So Freak could get a smart pick here and a smart pick there and still take this point. As long as he stays quiet
Seen with
and just
warehouse
waits.
story.
2 minutes 30 on the clock. I like that Freak moved down off of the roof. He is now protected from behind, from the north. The only way you can get him is from in front. There's no angle that you can come out. Well, there's one by the objective. If you came out that door, I guess technically you'd have an angle on him that he's definitely tunnel vision straight ahead. Drive is burning that clock. They know how much time they have. Wick up on the roof now, making a lot of noise. Is he going to be quiet when he pushes up on the other side? Freak now down on the downstairs, rotating towards objective. Oh, gets out of here just in time.
Wow.
I don't know about that spot.
I don't think he knows about it either.
That seems like a big risk. Yeah, he's trying to figure out if he can get closer, because if they came out anywhere in that far side of the map, I don't think you would see it. The wall blocks it. I mean, they could literally just walk up to it at this point.
It is surprising he wasn't concerned at all about his flank, though, about Lonwick potentially behind him. And if he doesn't continue to be, if he continues to ignore it, Lonwick's going to have an easy kill here.
Here's the cross. Is Freak gonna see it? Oh, Freak. Here's Lon. Wow, what a snap from Toxic. Strive taking the series. Map number 2, 4-2.
Great play. I mean, truly a good read off of the audio, a good turn, but this coordination, again, from Strive pays dividends. As they're both pushing. You're right, and because they're both pushing, the angle is found at the door. And Strive, to your point, they did what you were suggesting, just a little bit differently. They sent one in, and he died, and the other one got the refrag, but they just did it with a different bit of flair, and it worked out quite well for them there with 4-2 in Map 2. And yeah, where do we go from here with Map 3? If Strive is playing so well in these close quarters, maybe take it to Cargo to keep things tight.
Yeah, I forgot that was an option.
Yep.
And I want to point out the scores here. Freak 8-6 on the Pantheon side, but Toxic on Strive 11-4. Double-digit kills, always something cool to see, you know. But it's not even that he did double digits. It's not like he carried the team. There is a solid kill spread on the Strive side, which is even more impressive that you managed to get 11 kills while your other teammates are also still getting kills, you know?
Well, I guess because there's high kills on both sides, just goes to show you how aggressive this round was on sand. Plenty of action back and forth, refrags coming through on both ends, and Strive just playing it a little bit tighter there to lock in the second map in the series. We always play the third map out here at the VRML, and so shouldn't be surprised that we are going to continue on with the game, and we have a little bit more action left to deliver to you. But a guaranteed rank up for Strive and a guaranteed rank down. The question only is now, how much is that rank up and rank down?
I don't know. So total score so far is
been really good.
8-3?
Yeah.
8-3. Yeah. So, I mean, that's already a big score. Even if Pantheon take the third map 5-0, you're tied up. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a good win for Strive. Take a look. I want to look at the standings.
I think we're into a timeout before we head into our next map. So what we'll do here at the desk is we'll take a brief intermission. I think we're going to map 2 now, or map 3. I guess we'll get it to you. It's Snow Peak. You can wager on it.
I wonder if they chose that, or because they took the timeout, the auto select did that for them. But it looks like they're already up, so I guess this is map 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm confused now if we're getting the timeout now. or if it's, or if it was that little brief minute after the round. That was the timeout. I think what we'll do either way is cut to a quick intermission, and when the action fires back up, we'll dive into map number 3. Till then, don't go anywhere. More good quality gold action coming at you.
VRware. Our passion is for the
welcome back, everybody. Map number 3 kicks off on Snow Peak. My name's NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm here with Trip with 3 Nips. How are you doing, Trip?
I'm doing good. We do have a roster swap on the Strive Gaming side. Ferrer now in for, I don't actually know who, but we're going to be playing this North Objective, and we're going to see,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
this
then
is
while
a
I can
very
bring on
meta
far range,
defense,
Yeah.
except for Trozzy. There's always one flex player, right, on this objective, and Trozzy's moving out. He's decided he wants to go to under the sniper tower, and the spawn was the south twin hangars, and Strive is going to be moving across. If you look at the overhead, they're all moving towards the tunnels, towards the east, with one hanging back, maybe trying to get that long shot. Let's see, who is that? That is John Wick. Is that like John Wick's cousin?
Yeah. You not been seeing that name pop up, dude?
I thought it was Lone. Okay, I was thinking like, you know.
No. You got dude. Pistol connoisseur, I'm sure, but excuse me. Either way, it's a slow rollout here, especially with this spawn. And Trozzy's position, while a little bit advanced, is not as advanced as it could be. They can push out all the way to bunker with the spawn. Aggression can be applied from the bunker, and you can see some lasers scanning that there as this Strive team makes their advance forward, but it's going to be a little bit before we hit that action point. Trip.
We're seeing a little bit of a Peacekeepers-esque approach here, with Strive moving all in series, you know, close together, making their calls.
Yep.
Close enough that you can talk without getting on the radio, and able to get those repeaks. They're regrouping, Lawn moving up, and they're just scanning their angles. They do have the smokes out, which is going to give away that they're coming from this direction, but, you know, they can still push through any defense. I mean, you can punch through a defense pretty easily. The Pantheon defense is defending the courtyard. They're in the objective area. They're not defending outward, except for Trozzy. And if they can take him, they can potentially take a lot more of this map.
The smoke's there thrown out to allow this advance, but also to deny vision if there was anyone defending in bunker. No one is there, though, and to your point, utility, I don't know about wasted, but not going to good use. Trozzy there popping off, and that's an indicator for Crimson as he swings out to go on the hunt. Catches that refrag, and again, we just see a refrag after refrag with these teams because everyone is holding counter angles. They're holding angles, waiting to
Just went to north.
it's really interesting to see, and it's something that I think we've started to see more of, but these two teams are doing it very consistently.
And I also like how these teams they're shooting and they're moving, right? They're not defending from the same position, and it looks like, from what I'm watching, that they have these rotations already planned out. They know where they're going to go. They know once I give up this position, I start shooting at someone, hit or miss doesn't matter. I'm leaving this position. I'm going here. I'm covered from these angles. Like, they have all of this in their head, and that's one of those high tier, mechanics that you see when players have so much map knowledge. They know, okay, no one can see me from here. They can only make it this far. Freak now getting a little aggressive, and he goes down to a shot from
-1.
Ferrer.
I can't confirm the body.
Unaware of where those shots came from, but the res should be able to come out.
They're still pretty far away here with a minute 55. There's a lot of ground that this Strive Gaming team has to cover, and there's some interesting positions they're going to have to root out. Yamum is certainly one of them.
There is a wild card. If you look at the overhead, there's one back in the southwest corner at the twin hangars, going to be moving across the lake, and they've tried to draw all this attention towards the U-tunnel, the bunker. They're trying to get the team looking away from it, and he's just, maybe, let's see, who is that? Bezachu going to make it across the lake, potentially without cover, without smoke, just kind of going for a run.
And you hear the call, go, go, go. And as we pan across the line, everybody is sprinting forward. Crimson fumble Ruskies his rifle as he goes for a nade toss. Has to take a pause to recollect that. And in that pause, they go a touch out of sync. Fair comes charging in. He goes down.
Your mom gets one Crimson. Doesn't get the res. Bezichu kills Freak, and he's coming in on the backside, but Apollo cleans that up. Apollo damaged, doesn't have any more syringes, calls for help. Your mom gets Crimson. Farrer takes down Walsey. There's a 2-on-1. Farrer in the middle. Your mom's rotating back to objective. Oh, but it's not looking. Now Farrer is behind the cover. Apollo almost team killing there. Farrer's right here. They run, they trade, and Apollo damaged and still taking the round.
Pantheon on the board, though, kicking off map 3 at least with a little bit of a lead. 1-0 there on defense, and a kind of a crazy entry there coming in. Almost, again, synced up, but just that drop of the rifle and not being in line with his team, I think, ends up costing a life or two. Makes it a little bit harder than it needed to be, and still does go into the favor of Strive in the defense, or Pantheon in the defense, but I think Strive had an opportunity there to execute on what was looking like a nice setup.
You know, I wonder, they put a lot of smoke out pre-push.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much utility they still had at the end. If they had waited, I feel like using that smoke on the push is more effective. When we've seen teams take this objective, I've seen them wait until 30 seconds are left, and then smokes all of a sudden just appear all over the objective, all over the courtyard, and they come crashing in, hoping for that, you know, the panic. You know, it's 30 seconds left. Someone's got to, like, I had to have missed something, right? Someone had to have made it to objective, and you start double checking and thinking, oh, someone made it past me. Someone is coming from a different direction. You give up on your angle, and the smokes obviously help with that as well. But using them to make that bunker cross a little early and not necessary, I don't think.
Yeah, it's tough. If that, I think what we'll probably see is that Strive invest in that bunker position. You know, I think they'll probably end up diving out to that spot, and then it's going to be a threat to the like of Pantheon. It's a risky spot to take because you're not really guaranteed that you'll get there before the offense does, since there's multiple spawns, but I imagine that we'll see something like that. Toxic's certainly been somebody that's been that element, you know, that has been going into those forward positions, finding kills, getting those multi-kills. It doesn't look like he's going to go too crazy, though, and yeah, I guess no one really going to even, yeah, no one at all actually committing to go too far away from objective.
It is a different spawn, and like you said, pushing out, you know, you could make it to bunker, but only on that particular spawn, and only if they don't really peek it. I mean, I think that they could actually see you making it towards bunker if they decided to counter it, but with this spawn, you probably would have got picked off on that cross, so it's a really risky play. You know, it pays out, you know, big risk, big reward kind of plays.
But is it worth smoking twice? You know, again, I don't think it is. Well,
yeah.
And I guess one thing that I talked about when I was watching them last was it almost felt like a weird game because it was so much gun shooting. It was such a rifle heavy matchup against Unity, and they lost that matchup. And so maybe they've taken that to heart and have been trying to utilize their utility a little bit more in these matchups, and that certainly just could be one and you know, I get it makes sense off of that spawn if you're gonna do it, I guess, you know, because it's the only space they could be that aggressively off of that spawn. But again, it's a huge risk, and ultimately Strive don't invest in it, and Pantheon are now taking their time making sure Strive haven't gotten too aggressive.
Apollo in that northeastern corner, trying to get those long shots onto objective, missing Bezichu. Bezichu putting shots back, Apollo ducking down, trying to draw the attention, and maybe he's doing it because it looks like on the far side you've got Freak crossing the lake, made it across the lake, and is now going to start pushing up called for the rest of his team to start moving. Waltzy pushing up now. They're looking for any kind of rotation, any kind of kill. Smoke's coming out, not necessarily making it where they want. Drives defense holding strong on objective. Freak gets toxic. What a nice shot. Freak peeking up from that far side of the lake and clearing out that defender. Great pick. A safe peek from the offense to kill a defensive position if there. And then your mum gets Lawn Wick behind the Heskos where the smoke just got thrown out. Apollo gets Crimson and they're dropping like flies. There's only two Strive left. Farrah does clear out the lake approach. There's 4 Pantheon, all coming from the northwestern side. Prodigy's going to be first up. Bezachuk gets him. Yamum trying to put shots downrange, putting suppressing rounds. I don't know if they have an accurate gauge on the defensive location. Bezachuk rotating into the long shot lines of Apollo there.
North of OBJ building.
Rotate back. He can't really go anywhere. He can't come through the door, and he can't go around the building. He has to stay on that backside of objective now. Waltzy now slowly creeping up. Is Waltzy going to be able to make it onto the objective? They should have a good idea of where these defensive positions are.
I don't know about Fairs. Know if they're going to check these Heskos and look for him here.
Yeah, they said somewhere in tower, so they have a general idea. But Apollo, with that long sight lines, can make sure that no one's rotating around, so he can call out those defensive positions on the backside. Oh, Waltzy gonna rotate right past Farrer. If he just went up the hill, he would see it. But he finds Bezachu instead. Now Farrer has to rotate. I wonder if they think that that's the clear, though. They're not going to be ready for Farrer. Waltzy goes down the FAMAS, getting that kill. Reload and the peak. Farrer going to rotate back towards objective. 1:19 left on the clock. Farrer's got 2 attackers left. They have both grouped up. They are moving very close together. Let's see if they can get these refrags.
There's one behind OBJ, I'm pretty sure.
Farrer comes out and he gets one. Yamum misses the peak on the corner. Now Farrer knows that he's there. Is she going to be ready?
Wow.
And there's the final kill with the FAMAS Strive. Staying alive.
Huge hold there from Farrer to keep Strive in that one. That was looking like Pantheon going up 2-0, but the rotation really paying dividends there. Even though they knew he was in the backside, it still seemed to catch them a bit off guard. And I'm surprised to not see a commit to go into objective. All they really had to do was just go to objective from the main entryway. That's incredibly risky, of course, if you don't have the information that we do, meaning you can't see through walls, which they can't. And so I understand maybe the mindset of not committing to it, but there was certainly an opportunity to get up there and be punching in a code and potentially have a 3-0 lead here on map 2 or map 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Farrer's position was actually not great because they rotated into a position that was known from a previous defense. So they had mixed up defenders, right? Bezachu had gotten picked off, and then Farrer moved into his position, and Apollo was like, there's one behind objective because they didn't know that the kill had happened. So I thought that it was not going to play off well for Farrer, but managing to get both of those picks.
Yeah, it works out. It's surprising that they. I think the miss there was that they to your point, Trip, of sort of committing at the same time to corners. Sending one and then another immediately after. They were disconnected there. One went on for a bit of a longer rotation around the corner while the other went short, and they weren't able to capitalize off of each other.
Yeah, well, you don't want to both peek the corner at the same
Yeah.
time, because especially lined up, because then you get killed in one easy shot. I mean, it's a 3-round burst gun. That's 3 bullets for 2 people, easy kills. But you definitely want to be able to either see it from a different angle
Yeah.
or make the swing as quick as possible. And you want to be ready for it. And that's what I think they just weren't ready. Like, he wasn't expecting someone to be there, which is weird because they had just called out someone behind objective. Like, Apollo had just said it right before he got shot in the face. So, like...
I think one thing we don't really talk a lot about, but I have been sort of bringing up more, is acting off of that communication. You know, being communicative is certainly good. It's incredibly important at a high level. But being able to use that information effectively is also a skill set that we're seeing some teams excel at more than others, and to that
Freak's on a
point.
flank.
Oh, yeah, he is.
-1.
Very aggressive position there. Now what he should do is back off of it, but he's going to keep pushing that flank. He's actually going to back off of that position and go for a longer flank, going through the warehouse, which is going to pay off big. Lon not ready for that one. He goes down as well. That's 2 for Freak.
-2. Delta 3.
Pantheon feeling pretty good about this one.
So I remember watching, I think, Mayhem on this map, and Sky went for a bit of a similar aggressive rotation there, where he swung out early, or swung out deep like that to go for those
As a
picks,
friendly
but
over.
nobody came from that side, and so it's a risk you take by separating yourself so far from the team, and he's fortunate that it does pay off, and man, he's continuing to play this aggressive.
He's got 2 left. Are we going to see an ace here? We haven't seen an ace. Oh, he's going to see this. He's going to see Crimson here.
Is he?
Second now.
There it is.
Oh, but he missed. Oh, he got him through the wall. Now he's just got Bezicu left. Bezicu did get Apollo and is behind objective. Freak should know where this last player is based on who's still alive on his team. And he's making this rotation. Is he going to go the long way? If he goes the long way, around the backside, he's going to have an ace.
Pushing from the south, I'm shooting.
This is where things get dicey, because he is essentially in a position that the enemy is. He's pushing it at the same time, and he's telling people not to shoot. And so as a teammate, it becomes very difficult to not take those shots and also, you know, shoot the enemy who's right there. So fortunate that they don't time up like that, but the kill comes in, and Pantheon lock up a round that is largely off of the back of Freak with 4 kills.
Yeah, if you go on a long rotation, always communicate with your team. Let them know that you are coming back and where you are coming back from. And be as specific as you can about it. Because, like, right there, you know, he called, I'm coming from the south, what is that, southwest? So was Bezicu. So
Right.
if he had been a little bit more specific, it definitely would have been safer. But... because, like you said, that does give Bezicu an advantage, a drop on the teammate. If they see movement and they're like, oh, that's just, you know, Freak coming back, and then they get shot, they're not going to be very happy about that. But
Not at all. It's, of course, something that they don't see and only we do. You know, that's the beauty of the casting desk. We have that advantage of seeing through walls and whatnot, but still, a great play is coming in there from Freak to commit to that aggression, really paying off and catching Strive off guard. And I wish you had seen Pantheon play like this in the earlier rounds, earlier maps. It just felt like they weren't as confident as they are now. And confidence goes a long way in this game.
yeah, you get that momentum, you get those kills, especially like Freak did, you know, he kept moving off of it. You play better when you've got that, not necessarily adrenaline, but you get those kills one after another. You get that onward high. And it looked like, I mean, he'd done that before, right? He had a very set path. He's like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. He was making callouts after kills, and he said, I'm gonna keep hunting. He had an attack plan already in his head. Pantheon's gonna spawn in the tunnels, which is gonna be the closest spawn, I believe. The question is, how are they gonna push out? Are they gonna take the U tunnels, or are they gonna take the garage area? Or are they gonna split up? It looks like one's actually going north. Toxic and Lawnwick both getting aggressive here. Lawn's coming up. Is he gonna see Waltzy? Waltzy with the swing and the kill.
-1.
Now Toxic's trapped here. He's gonna have to wait it out and see if he can find either a kill on the backside of Waltzy or maybe hear Trozzy come around.
It's such a really aggressive rollout here. Fair also pushing up, and Pantheon off to another good start. They had a good start last round, and they did lose it, so I haven't locked in anything just yet, but they have one defender way out of position and really only 2 on objective, and they're incredibly fortunate that Toxic catches out Waltzy and can continue to rotate back.
Pantheon playing a little bit looser this round, and I think that that's what's helping them out. They might have been a little tense
We're
during the
4
first
up.
couple of maps, but now they're just
Practice
playing to
pushing
play,
the big
and they're doing better. They're communicating. Their spirits are still high. Toxic gets Freak on his rotation back to the objective, but now it's a two-way pinch. They've got Apollo and Yamum in the garage side, and then one coming from the lake. Trozzy coming from the lake. Bezichu goes down, and then another goes down on objective. Toxic gets Apollo and Yamum, and now that was like 4 kills in like 10 seconds.
Where's the last attacker? It's
Coming from
Trozzy.
the lake. Yeah. If he pushes up, he's a little too far back. If he had made it up to those Heskos and set up, he would have an easy kill right here on the Toxic on the rotation back to objective. He is far back. Now he knows he's last up. He missed that cross too. Toxic made it all the way across the objective area without getting spotted out, but he has to play a little aggressive. He's not in cover. He's looting a teammate's body. A risky play there, but somehow manages to survive that. Trozzy just playing it slow. Is he going to pre-fire through the building? You can see it. He sees it. He's not shooting through the building. The building is penetrable.
Wow. Toxic got lucky there.
Toxic getting very lucky. Trozzy reloading. Gonna try again. If he goes around to the garage side, he should have a decent angle onto the objective. And Toxic also doesn't have any cover from that angle, but Trozzy's putting smokes out. Gonna draw the attention this way and then rotate back, which is gonna help Toxic. It's actually gonna keep him in a tight defensive position.
I think you saw him peek that corner.
I wonder. I mean, if you're Toxic, you don't have to peek any of this. You can just kind of wait. Two minutes, 30 seconds left. And it's a game of peekaboo.
Yeah, and that position may seem strong, but again, it's got a huge weakness in that Trozzy can just shoot through this wall and kill Toxic. I think Toxic is very fortunate that Trozzy's not aware of this, because most teams at this point would simply just spray down that spot regardless.
Yep, aim waist height and just rake back and forth.
Yeah.
Trozzy's just waiting for him to peek the door. Wonder if Trozzy, is he gonna decide to go for it? I mean, he could get a cap here. If he stays quiet, pulls out tablet, he can cap from outside. That'd be, I mean, I would be very impressed. That would be a very aggressive play.
You would hear
He's making a
Toxic like
little too
running
much
or
noise.
you would hear Toxic moving around and stuff. Oh, and yeah,
Oh.
the crunch of the snow aware to Toxic as he peeks out. It's the easy confirm kill, and Fortunate enough that both of them didn't know. I guess Toxic could have also shot through the wall there and gotten his kill, but either way, gets the confirm and 2-2 apiece on map 3. Keeping things close here.
So, check out camera 2. This is what he did. You can see through the crack. I was wondering why he stopped moving all of a sudden. Inside, he saw him through that little tiny crack, which seems to be one way. Which is unfortunate. I don't remember that being there before. I wonder if that's new.
Yeah, either way, it
And now
pays off, right? Gets him a kill. It could have been a sneak cap. Does not come through, and yeah, he had to have known.
now we're going to chaos, chaotic objective.
Cap here.
You don't think so? You don't think there's a gap opportunity
No,
here?
I don't think one's going to present itself.
I don't know. 4 entrances, 5 players. If Strive is coordinated, I could see it happening.
Oh, they'll get the kills. I'm just saying, to get a cap here, it really takes a failure in a defensive setup. You know, you have to have someone out of this building. And at the time of a team crashing, it's for there to be a defender out of this building, like I said, would be a failure on the defense. And yeah, there would be a cap opportunity there, but it's just, you know, once the push comes in, the odds of someone having enough time to be able to punch in a code are so slim simply because the defenders are most likely right here on objective in this building.
My hands are red. Oh no.
But Freak was way out of position last round. I mean, he went on that hunt. If he goes for a hunt again, they get those picks.
Ooh, green.
You must not give away my location.
On by the garage, not the quick spawn. And it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a split. They're all coming the same direction, just in different lanes.
Yeah.
They are worried, though. They're going to burn more time. They are worried about that flank.
Well, they've seen it happen a couple of times already. Pantheon are doing things a little bit crazy here these last few rounds. They've been throwing them some curveballs on offense and defense, and so Strive are very cautious now of those potential strats. And as they push out, the cross there gets caught out by Waltzy. Pretty standard spot.
Yeah, pretty standard. I don't know if that angle used to exist. I feel like that spot Waltzy was in used to be much harder to play, because I used to play that. And I feel like you didn't have that long sight line that you have now. So it might be newer, and maybe they haven't tested it out, or they're just not aware. Maybe Farrer's newer. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a new pickup on the team or a new player. Sometimes you just learn. That's how you learn, right? You know, you get killed from that position, you're never making that cross again without checking that, right? That's a learning experience right there.
Yeah, oftentimes we've seen teams commit that
right.
resources.
Right there.
A well-placed smoke or a nade in the corner does the job, and that smoke was needed before the cross came in, but a little too late, and now it is perfectly placed and should allow for some sort of movement to come in from Strive.
Yeah, to your point, it's a very grenadable position because it has that building right behind it. You don't have to get it like perfect. You just have to hit the wall and it'll fall down. Toxic and Bezichu both just waiting. Oh, here it is the peak. Waltzy's low. He sees the shots, but Bezichu with the headshot.
-1.
And again, they knew he was there. They had the information off of the shots earlier, and it took them a while to act off it. But this whole setup here coming in from Strive is really just oh wow, there's the swing out from Freak. That's surprising. Trazi also looking for a little bit of action here. Nearly goes down.
Trazi was definitely blinded by that flash. Toxic missing the kill, but now they know he's there, and they're going to push up. They're going to go around looking for the kill. Trazi gets the kill, but the refrag from Lawn comes out. Now they're going to be entering. There's 2 defenders inside.
Flashing.
Oh.
bad flash. There's a better one. Apollo gets one in the side. Not sure if that flash got him. Your mom gets another. Bezichu now all alone.
-1 over.
The call out from Apollo gives away his position. Bezichu looking for the kill. And the trade comes out. Pantheon staying alive.
Just barely, though. One left alive, and what was looking like a solid entry from Strive gets botched a bit. If that flash comes out, I think it's a different push. You know, the timing's a little bit different, and it hits the corner. It doesn't go into the door, and he's lucky he didn't flash himself with it. But either way, again, just a touch off on the timing ends up killing a play here, and Pantheon this time able to capitalize off of that. And well, they're just a round away from taking a map.
One round, but they have to take the warehouse objective.
Yeah.
So, you know, do they have the coordination? And I feel like both these teams have the coordination. So it's, I think it's more who is playing defense against your opponent, not your defense, right? You have to adapt your specific set defense to who you are playing. And if Pantheon's going to be attacking from all sides at once, if they're going to be more aggressive, if they're going to wait and blow some time, and they're going to let you, you know, give you just enough rope to hang yourself, right? They could let Strive kind of push out more and more, thinking that they spawn in a farther objective or a farther spawn, and let the, you know, let the defender that's flanky get into a kill box and then take him out, and then that's, you know, pushes the odds into Pantheon's favor.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you can do here, and it's going to be who's got the better mind games, who knows their opponent better, which these teams haven't played each other in a league match. They've probably scrimmed a couple of times considering how close they are, but I don't think that they have a real strong knowledge of, you know, when chips are down, this is what this team's going to do.
There's always a question in the head, and again, go back to that inside square objective and
Got it.
see how Strive decide to set up.
Go here in this corner. What's that entrance?
Yep. Got it.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Fair. Getting aggressive.
Pantheon going, I'm not going to cap too many numbers. Flank paying off, getting the kill on Atrazi.
Can't go all the way. They're already on my spot.
Waltzy looking for a refrag.
They're already in my spot.
And he knows there's two. He
Holding
ID'd
close
two.
right
Almost
to
killed
the-
both of them. Lucky he didn't.
Freak getting really pushy there and getting toxic on that outside defensive position. Not sure how he made it all the way up there without, you know, getting picked off. He's at the door putting flashbangs or smokes inside. But he's all alone. He has no backup.
This works, though. If Fair gets overpassed, there is a cap opportunity for Pantheon here. Fair goes down, so that's no longer a threat. And, well, Pantheon are still off to a great start here. 4-2.
Freak's own smoke stopping him from entering this door, because when you come out of the smoke, you're blind longer than you're hidden. So he has to wait for that smoke to clear, because it's not far enough away from the door to make it in and not be just completely blind. Now you've got Apollo and Yamum on the backside coming up on Long Wick. They're just going to go for it. The trade comes out. Yamum's going to get the double tap. There it is. Now Waltzy pushing in from one side. Crimson King, the only one still standing. 3 doors. Crimson with a nice flash up and over the top, trying to defend from 3 angles once. They have an accurate kill count. Freak trades out, and Pantheon take map number 3. And final score, math. Is it 10 to 8?
10-7.
7?
You're close.
That was close.
But yeah, a close series at the end of the day. Pantheon able to definitely reduce the damage done to their rank. They won't be bumped out of the top 20 just yet, and it was certainly looking like it was going to go that way. It was Strive locking in maps 1 and 2 in commanding fashion, but the series ends with a Pantheon map win, and they're able to right at least some wrongs, able to come out on top a little bit. A long day here for us though today, Trip. A great cast. Shout out to everyone that was tuning in, but I think it's going to be it for us here on the desk. Shout out to all of our sponsors. Not going to go through it all now, but one thing I will say is be sure to tune in tomorrow afternoon for a Venues broadcast. I believe it's 2 Spanish teams, or at least one. Loyal Dogs versus... I can't remember off the top of my head.
Bad Company.
Bad Company. And then Saturday is also another Venues broadcast at around 6 p.m. PST. So be sure to be tuning in for that action this weekend. It's going to be high octane. It's going to be fun. I'll be there. So will some others. And with that, I will be signing off. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. My co-caster, Trip. We'll see you all this weekend. Do not miss it. Until then, bye-bye.